Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Star Citizen video. This is Answer the Call with Bored Gamer. We are going back in time with what we did, and how Answer the Call came about. So we have Bored Gamer on here. Hello, Bored. And we are going to do an Answer the Call a little bit different than we have been doing in recent times, where it's just been me. I figured every now and then it'd be nice to have a guest, and what a good guest to have on with, other than, you know, the person that basically made Answer the Call kind of happen. It was just a little Discord conversation with you and me one day, right? So how are you, Bored?
Yeah, I'm good.
What you been up to?
Preparing myself for your lies of how long this is going to be.
I told him an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, and I've stuck to that pretty well. I don't do... It's not the Redacted podcast where it will definitely be a short podcast and then it's 4 hours long.
You got a message Soros like 18 times saying, I've got to go. I've got to go, Soros.
I'm going to die if I don't eat.
Or pee or something like that. And occasionally you just have to go, can we wrap this up?
Exactly. So, yeah, what you been up to? I've been following the YouTube channel. You're doing amazing. Great job. I'm loving it. Recently, I heard you've brought somebody on staff or considering it.
Yeah, so the channel's doing pretty well. It's just Star Citizen easy stuff, and I've got better at knowing what sort of content I should be doing, and I'm just a bit more confident in it. Stealing
my content ideas. Yep.
Well, so the great thing about that is that I steal them and record them before you do them.
Yes.
That is how good I am at stealing them.
So, for those of you, this is obviously an inside joke, so let me give them some context. I made a how to make money in Star Citizen video, and it got some traction, and I was like, well, I really want my YouTube channel to be doing better, so I need to make more videos. So I sit down to the computer, and I'm like, all right, I know what video I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a description of all the mission givers. As I sit down, Bored Gamer posts a video 30 seconds ago, the description of all the mission givers. I was like, this guy is in my brain. He doesn't even have to steal my content. He already knows what I want to do before I do it.
Well, it's not actually that way. What I've got is I've got all the videos already done, and I just literally go, oh, what does Swerk want to do today? No, let's ruin that. Let's release that one. Boom, done.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted my YouTube channel for.
Yeah, of course, to torture me. So yeah, what have you been up to? Obviously, you're making some different content on your YouTube channel as well. It's not just Star Citizen newsy stuff. You're jumping in game. You're talking about stuff that's going on in game. It's not always what was on, around the verse this week.
Yeah, it's basically anything Star Citizen-y content I can do, I'll do. Because I mean, it's my full-time job. I cover Star Citizen. I post social media stuff about Star Citizen. I talk about Star Citizen. And yeah, just getting more active in the community. There's a lot more to actually play now, so it's worth talking about what there is to do in game.
Yeah.
And big content creators are getting on board with it now. Like there was Cyanide and Quebec who've been playing it recently, who are two people I actually watch really regularly. I was like, oh my god, great.
Yeah.
So I've been chatting to them while they've been playing, and it's obviously a long way to go before Star Citizen is in a mainstream sit down and play state. But
yeah,
it's pretty cool now, and so I can make a load of content for that. And with that in mind, I think at the end of April, my friend Zin, who I play games with regularly, is probably one of my best friends in the entire world. She's going to be starting to work for me, doing exactly what I do. So literally, there will be two people doing stuff on the channel. I think I want to get her more into the editing side as well.
Yeah.
But just having someone to play with Star Citizen stuff every day and being able to make a lot more content with a camera person that I can say, well, they're contractually obliged to take shots of me. So it's a lot more malleable because that person there is there professionally.
Yeah, I mean the how to make money in Star Citizen video that I made took me 2 weeks.
Yeah,
to get all of that footage took 2 weeks. The laying down the audio took one night. The footage took 2 weeks.
It's weird,
and editing all of it.
It's weird. Like some of the processes that you do are really easy, but that you think are going to be complicated, and then you'll realize like I hate editing. I'm terrible at editing.
I hate it too.
yeah, it's. But I know some people love it. You look at like Narian and Zenthor's stuff, and some of those other people. They have beautiful edits.
Yeah,
they have beautiful footage. And I go, what? You work for me? Do my footage and editing for me? Come on, come on. I'll pay you some. I'll give you a ship.
Yeah, I'll give you some cookies.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to pay for them.
All right, so let's get into this so we stay on time. The state of the game. I mean, you mentioned right away that, you know, there is more to do, but a lot of the stuff that came out this week is kind of relevant to the situation. Has the state of the game really changed that much? With the amount of content that's in it, and with the amount of content that maybe we expect going in the future. For those of you guys that don't know, salvaging has been taken out of 3.5. The law system has been taken out of 3.5 as well. So the update to 3.5 doesn't really look that interesting in terms of the state of the game. Has much really changed since mining has come into the game, truly.
What other thing did you say was taken out of 3.5?
The law system.
I disagree that that's been taken out.
Well, they do mention something that it's sort of in there as well, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like being broken down, and some elements are still in 3.5.
But not the full reputation system.
Yeah, what were you expecting with the law and reputation system V1 or V0, whatever?
Now, I don't think I'm a little less... I'm more of a glass half empty person, so I think a lot of people were expecting, well, now piracy is going to be a thing and this and that, and I don't think it was going to be as big of a thing as a lot of people were hoping. I'm kind of similar with the flight model. I don't think it's... Everyone's like, oh, when the flight model comes in, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And I don't really think that's the case. I think it'll be an improvement to what we have now, but it will be an iteration on what we have now. It's not this, you know, everything is solved and flying is going to be fantastic. It's obviously going to take some ups and downs, but...
Couldn't be any worse, Twerk.
Couldn't be any worse. That's true. That's absolutely true. Could not be any worse.
ESP is like a competitor to Star Citizen made ESP to damage Star Citizen.
You know, I'm so happy that ESP sucks because it forced me to turn it off and learn how joystick curves work and sensitivity curves work. So I learned that I want a J curve and I want it looking like this, and all. I learned all about it one stream. I just sat there and spent hours in the options menu on stream and asking questions of people and learned what I wanted. But no, really, has much really, like, in your opinion, has anything really changed since mining's come in? Obviously, we have different areas to explore, right? Hurston's come in. A lot has changed. But for the state of the game, if you were going to give a State of the Union address for Star Citizen, what would you be saying about what we've got in the last few patches and what we're expecting to have in the next few patches?
Well, so for 3.4, the branch specifically,
yeah,
I mean, most of that stuff has been quality of life improvements, getting the gameplay area working, hooking up the missions, getting mission stability there, which is significantly better than what we've previously had.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things is that there is actually quite a lot of missions, and there's quite a lot of counter missions.
Yep.
So you have you have some bounty hunter missions. You have the AI blade mission, which actually generates a counter mission for someone to destroy it. And
it's a fantastic mission.
But very few people know it exists.
Yes.
Like occasionally you'll have someone saying, "Oh, is this a player I'm doing a bounty hunt on?" Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a player that I'm trying to take that? Is that player got my blade? Yeah. Like it's weird. Like, the game doesn't hold your hand or tell you what's going on, and that's one of the downfalls of Star Citizen at the moment. I feel that it should sort of like go, this is a PvP mission at the moment.
Yeah,
because people don't know. But yeah, I mean, the FPS AI is still trash, but at least they're more active now. And
the ship AI is obviously even worse.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. The core of Star Citizen still isn't there, and the core is ship combat, and
the core is probably the AI. When you really think about it, it's interactions and everyday experiences with the AI involved.
I think you could argue that some people are going to want to be PvPing humans a lot more.
Of course, I do.
It's going to be unavoidable to fight NPCs as well. But for me, it's just that flight model. I mean, we've needed it for ages. It was delayed again. And we're putting a lot of hope on that the flight model's not going to be trash.
Yeah.
And we've been burnt before. I mean, we all expect that it's going to be great, or at least not awful, and going somewhere, because the alternative is too bad to consider. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What if it is trash? I mean, it's unlikely to be trash, but it could be. It could be broken as hell. It could be the most buggy thing we've had since 3.0.
Certainly could be. And that's why I try to, like, calm the expectations a little bit, because, you know, they've been working on it for a while. That doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect when it comes in. And
it's not going to be perfect.
I think people are going to be pretty upset. And that's why in the last few weeks, last few months probably, I've been championing as much as possible the travel times and how I don't think they're where they should be. I think they're a little too slow. And people have disagreed with me and people have agreed with me. And, you know, we've gone through that plenty at this point. But, you know, the flight model changes could change the way, you know, flying a Caterpillar in atmosphere feels like drastically. And with that said, you know, I don't know. Are all the ships going to be feeling the same? Now, no. So what is the experience going to be for someone who's, you know, they built all these ships out and most of them don't look like they should be flying in atmosphere. And that was kind of what we were told. If it looks like it should fly in atmosphere, it should be good. But now they're building out a game that most of the time we're playing the game, we kind of want to be, it seems like we're going to be spending lots of time in atmosphere. They built out planetary, they built out moons and procedural planets and all this stuff, and they've kind of shifted the gameplay over the last couple of years to be spent on these entities. So
I think that's only a focus at the moment. So because we don't have enough of the procedural tech for missions, enough of the mission modules, we don't have enough stuff to do in space. We don't have the gameplay loops. We don't have salvage. We don't have science. We don't have the billions and billions of different gameplay loops that involve us being in space. And the game is a space game. Let's not forget that. I think because they've had this procedural tech and they've wanted to show off the procedural tech, and it's a cash cow for them. Because
it's amazing. It's beautiful.
It's awesome. It is amazing. And
it sells the game for sure.
But it's boring as fuck to do for thousands of hours when there's nothing else to do. And when you have to travel 10 minutes when you're going down to atmosphere and 10 minutes to come back out of atmosphere when you're trying to go around the planet. I saw Luke come into your channel the other day and chat to you about him potentially sorting stuff out a bit quicker when it comes from traveling down to the planet's surface. Which would be awesome.
Yeah, and people, I mean, people were pissed like some people were pissed at me for suggesting that. But I think the problem that people don't understand is that there really isn't anything to do in the game yet. So everyone's comfortable with the travel times now. Not everyone, but I do see a lot of people say that they're happy with the travel times. But those people aren't trying to achieve anything in the game at the moment. They're just going in and going, wow, the game's beautiful. Oh, I'm walking around my ship. It doesn't bother me to do that for 10 minutes. But when you actually have a mission in mind, or you're trying to make progression towards your next ship, it's all about being efficient and doing it as quickly as possible, you know, enjoying the game, of course. But I think they would change their tune quite a bit if they were actually trying to accomplish anything.
Well, if the game was dropped now as finished, people would change their tune that was saying it's great, because there's not enough to do. It's great. It's great as a tourist attraction.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the game is at the moment. It's this, this tourist trap. It's very beautiful. It's very cool, but there's not that much to do. And that's why I think when actually at the moment they're showcasing those procedural areas, they're showcasing those planets and things, and they're not. I think some people are pretty much going to very, very, very rarely ever go to a planet, and some people are going to live on a planet.
I mean, I think we'll really have. You make a really good point where I still think they're shifting the focus much more to planetary side than it ever was, you know, back in the original Kickstarter and things like that, obviously, right? But I think what we're missing is the larger truck stops. and then you're going to start seeing more station to station action than we did before, right? So I think you make a really good point with that. But yeah, I don't know. Where do you see, like, what are your overall thoughts for the next 6 months with seeing something like Salvage leaving 3.5 and not even being scheduled? I know Xylo kind of made a statement about that, and it's just sitting. It's kind of holding. It's in a holding pattern right now. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be scheduled again properly at some point. We're still in the point where they're not done with all their meetings and all that stuff yet. So what are your thoughts on the next little while?
So I think CIG and Star Citizen has shifted slightly into a slightly more senior company from its very junior state.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say some stuff now that might not be too popular, but it might be accurate.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's any less true. And basically, you're going to see certain gameplay loops not worked on or not coming into the game for a while because there's not that many people that can do them, or because they want to get some of the more mainstream bits of the game that they can showcase, like planetary tech, that's going to make the game more popular, that's going to advertise the game more. They want to get that in quicker because they want Star Citizen to be in a state for when they sell Squadron 42 that Star Citizen is as mainstream as possible and doesn't necessarily have all the gameplay loops or anything, but they want it to be as polished as possible so people can go, oh yeah, this game's awesome. Why have people been saying it's a buggy piece of shit?
Or, wow, it's amazing. Like, that looks amazing. That looks fun. Because gameplay loops are grindy, right? Typically. So, while typically they can be. So, while, mining is cool, if I mined every day for the next 8 months, that wouldn't bring anybody and bring excitement to the game. Right, so if you bring salvaging in, it would be cool initially, probably. And long-term, it's great, because you're bringing in more things and more variety to the game and things to do, but you're not going to get those great screenshots, those great videos that, wow, look at that landing zone, that looks amazing, oh my god, ArcCorp, look at that. So the priorities are more important to get maybe ArcCorp done than to bring salvaging in. Not to say that those teams are the same, so on and so forth. Obviously, there's all those caveats, right? We don't know why salvaging didn't make it in, unless Xylo wrote it in that post, which as most people know, I work a ton during the weekend, so I miss anything that happens on the weekends typically.
He just said they're still working out exactly where everything's going to fall for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is obviously everybody lost their mind this weekend a little bit when they saw salvaging leaving. Now, I don't think losing salvaging was that big a deal. I did expect it to be in. Why? It's only people with the reclaimers could do it, and it was going to just be like mining, but for Rex. No, it's not only people that had reclaimers, because it said in the ship or out of the ship for salvaging.
You're right.
So you could have done it.
Some by hand stuff. They did.
So technically, they could have hooked up any ship. But again, we don't know how it's going to work. Possibly, they could have hooked up any ship to salvaging, and it could have just been in there. But the reason I want it in there is because while I do agree with you that having these sexier bits in the game may be more of a priority, when people actually see gameplay and are interested and seeing things like people making progression and, oh, there's things to do, there are a whole section of gamers that are out there waiting. They know the game looks good. They know the game's ambitious. They know the game has a lot of potential. But they're waiting for that. They're waiting for something to do.
But are they also waiting for full persistence as well?
Sure.
Like that type of person you described is almost always, in my opinion, going to be like, well, there's no point in having
I can't log out and be in the same spot as when I... where I was. But that's flawed logic, though. That's a little flawed logic, because it's not fair. I don't think that's fair, because the team in Germany that's working on salvaging is not the team that works on persistence. Not even close.
No, but I'm saying that there is a disconnect there, that a lot of those people that want to have those gameplay loops. They're not going to play, for the most part, a lot of them, especially the ones that are looking at the game rather than actually playing at the moment, until there's a reason to play, until there's actual progression.
Yes.
And having your stuff reset all the time is soul destroying. There's a lot of people as well that I found that, well, I say a lot of people, some people, and I couldn't give you a figure, but there's some people that don't realize there are resets, and they go, "What? Where's my stuff gone?"
Yeah.
So well, you probably should have read up before you started playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that falls on them a little bit, but I think it's fun every patch resetting. And what I would like to see, and hopefully we see this in 3.5, is at Teach's and at, I can't remember the store on Hurston.
New Deal.
Reset the ships, different ships. So now I can progress towards something new and different and exciting.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I mean, we have to have rentals. We need rentals. We know the game supports rentals. Why haven't we got them?
Do we, though?
Yeah,
Why?
they had rentals throughout the Expo.
Why do we need rentals? Because I disagree with you. For now, I disagree with you. The game needs rentals long term, but now I disagree with you. So go ahead.
One of the problems that some people have with getting the ships is obviously it gets reset at least once every 3 months.
Yeah.
But typically, anytime they need a database reset, which can be all of the minor patches as well. And there's not enough of the ships available to buy in the shops, or at least I'd like them to have some more missing links. Like having the Avenger Titan relatively cheaply would be great.
I've argued that one pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really cool thing. But those rentals, for me anyway, they allow people to get ships and it not to be a massive grind to get them. And they allow people to try ships that are weekend warriors and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Very few people have got the ability to sit down and play Star Citizen for dozens of hours each major patch.
Yep.
And the ones that do typically have bought some of the ships anyway.
Yeah. I agree with that. And okay, how about I switch a little bit and I say I disagree with you slightly. I think the Prospector should always be rentable. I think whenever salvaging comes in, whatever salvaging ships should always be rentable. Anything that's locked behind a paywall should be rentable, and then it should be up to the player to decide, yes, I really enjoy this gameplay. I would like to purchase this ship full time, right? And then they can go and buy it if they like. In terms of just, I would prefer, whether there's persistence or not. So let's say we stay with the current state of persistence where we get wipes 4 times a year and we get a bunch of wipes right when the patch drops pretty quickly, right? And then we have some time in between to try and make some progression. I would prefer things like salvaging to come online, things like piracy, things like transferring money back and forth between each other, things like that to be the priority, and less maybe like if that was the choice, obviously. And maybe persistence doesn't need to be that important because the wipe comes, then I start fresh and I have something new to grind for. I actually have something to do in Star Citizen. Now I can grind and try and get the, I'm just going to throw any ship name out there. The Idris, like just something crazy, right? Doesn't matter what it is. I'm just saying a name. Is that instead of grinding for the Prospector or a Cutlass or something like that, now I'm grinding for something new and exciting that I get to try. So not every ship should be rentable because I think you should be trying to reach for something. And currently there is nothing to reach for other than a ship to earn in game.
Yeah, fair point. Maybe not every ship rentable, especially.
But
not
anything locked behind a paywall, rent. Let's go. Let people try it, bug test it, all that stuff, right?
Or have missions where you can use them if you've got a high enough rep or something. I just want access to them, and I want access for people that aren't playing Star Citizen super regularly. So they can see that stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're there to do. We're there to test at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think we realised a while ago with the initiation of and the start of Redacted that we're not there just to test. We're there basically. The whole player base is there to also advertise. Like the more we play, the more popular it is. The more cool stuff that we help sort of like guide it towards, the better CIG is sort of like, the more mainstream they become, or the more other people try it.
Absolutely.
The state we're in, with the state that we're in at the moment is literally big YouTubers and, well, big streamers anyway are starting to play Star Citizen and actually enjoy it.
Yeah. And before we get into the next topic I want to talk about is, guys, this is still a call-in show. I know me and Bored are talking to each other. I don't think we have any callers on the line now. If you do want to call in, pop in the Discord. We have Kazu there sorting, and you guys can join in. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can click in the link below, and it has the link to my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Torque17, and the Discord, so you guys can join in next time. Okay? So if anybody does want to call, we'll talk about a few more topics, and you guys can call in and ask questions or just, you know, general statements. And I mean, how often do you get to talk on voice with BoredgamerUK? Not that often, right?
Yeah, you should be very.
You should be very you know, excited. But with that said, this fan kit thing came out, and
Yes.
with the fan kit, I don't see anything as a Star Citizen streamer or YouTuber that I would use it for. But it definitely seems like they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's in terms of this Star Citizen advertising and making sure we're doing it correctly. How did you feel in general about the fan kit? The having to accept an agreement in order to use it?
Number one, haven't accepted an agreement to use it.
I'm not accepting the agreement to use it either. No chance.
The fan kit is for fandom stuff and website-based stuff. It doesn't get around
to YouTubes and streams.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get around fair use or anything.
No.
It doesn't get around reporting on it as news or anything. The fan kit stuff is to prevent people making a website that looks like an official Star Citizen website, or be able to make something that looks like it's an official CIG Star Citizen thing. Making
shirts with their logos on them and selling them, all sorts of shit like that. You know?
And it's also to protect CIG legally. So they can say, look, there's a policy in place. This person has gone against that. We would cease and desist or whatever, however they want to protect their IP. And as I said, they need to protect their IP now. They're a senior company now.
Absolutely.
They're getting more and more senior. And it's good. Well, I mean, it's a brute fact that they need to do stuff like this. But I don't think anyone should worry. As long as you're not trying to make direct profit of Star Citizen's IP and pretend it's yours, then I think you're fine.
I mean, I do it every day on stream. Should I worry?
No, that's a totally different thing.
I know.
Playing a game. I mean, I'm sure some people will be like, oh, you YouTubers, you're making money off playing Star Citizen. Yet there's actually a section on the website which talks about can you monetize your YouTube videos and what can you and can't you do with gameplay footage, which is different. Which, again, there's fair use. CIG want the stuff. However, I suppose that if you were very critical about the game, they could try and silence you. Now, if they did that...
Section 2A of the agreement said exactly that. You can't use anything in this fan kit. It should, like, I don't have it up perfectly right now, but it said in Section 2A, you guys can go there, it says, you know, using the Star Citizen fan kit, you are using it to support CIG or Star Citizen, and please, like, refrain from bad-mouthing it, basically. I'm definitely using my own words and not using what they said, but I was like, oh, okay, now I'm definitely not signing this agreement, because I like to be critical, and I like to say how I feel. Here it is. SideSlide copied and pasted it for me. You shall use the CIG fan kit solely for the purpose of showing support for CIG products, and you shall endeavor to make any information you present accurate and not misleading.
Well, that's my channel fucked.
Yeah, well, there's some channels that are fucked if they accepted the agreement, because there's a lot of misleading information out there on some YouTube channels.
It's not going to affect people's YouTube channels.
That's true. That's true. But yeah,
this is for fandom stuff, and I mean, however, one of the other things is that if CIG tried to shut down someone's channel, even if it's a critical I hate them channel, I would comment. Like, I'm very much for freedom of speech, even if I totally disagree with people. If they try and shut people down, and they wouldn't, it's just a hypothetical, pretty sure they wouldn't. I mean, that would be terrible. That would be, you need to have dissenting opinions. You need to have people be able to share their views, and you need to be able to have people talking about what they like and don't like about things.
Absolutely.
And Star Citizen is a very polarizing topic because of the way it's structured and because it's playable now and it's an alpha. And even those people that you hate, those Black Knights or whatever, they still are part of the community, and it's better to have stupid opinions and ideas exposed and talked about rather than hidden and suppressed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, there's definitely some YouTubers out there that are critical, but then misleading, and then there's some that are just out there just being stupid for views. But at the same time, I don't totally agree with you. They should all be out there and allow people to share or to figure out their own opinions, right? Because if it's just CIG, and I'm seeing this a lot in the Twitch chat, they themselves, maybe purposely, maybe not, have been misleading as well, right? There's been times where we've been misled, and there's been times where, and it most likely wasn't malicious and it was just mistakes. You know, the $20 Star Citizen thing, CitizenCon thing, all sorts of stuff where we were upset and misled about the way things might be. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's hard.
Maybe one day they'll be Blizzard and they can do Blizzard passes for watching their live streams.
That day isn't today. They should maybe develop a game first and put it out, and then you could start charging people money to watch your stuff. But and that's not a shot or anything. It's just is what it is. But I do think at times that they feel like they are bigger and more organized than they actually are.
But they are also now becoming bigger and more organized as well.
Yeah, every day.
Organized, yeah, but they are becoming more bigger and organized as well.
Of course. And I think the final topic that I'd like to discuss before we get into any calls would be their content. What did you think about their content in the past year? And what do you think about what's going on now with, obviously Jared's not in the office. He's taking a quite extended and much deserved vacation. But we're not really getting anything out of them for the beginning of the year. And
we never do.
We never do. I know. But should we be? Is it okay to take a month off to reevaluate your 3 YouTube videos that you make a week?
Oh, yeah, I did think they had a team and not just Jared.
It's not just Jared. It is a team. It is at least a team of 2. We know there's a video editor, and we know there's a JJ that he yells at randomly, who I know from my experiences at the office. I know what he does and all that stuff, but I don't know what's under NDA and what's not. So I'll keep shit to myself now that they're a big company, as you say, Board Gamer. So, and they might, be coming after me. I don't know.
Well, I don't think the CIG have not been litigious at all. They haven't. Well, I haven't seen them do anything legal to strangle people.
I'm just playing around.
I had a T-shirt actually. I had a T-shirt up for people to buy. Someone asked me to buy that was one of my mates. I put it up on my store so they could buy it quick. And I literally took it down the day later. And Tyler had spotted that I'd had a T-shirt up and went, "You shouldn't be selling that."
Ooh.
I was like, "Oh, sorry. It was for my mates. I haven't made any money. I think I actually made like £3. I was like, give it to charity. I apologize." And he's like, "That's fine. Just don't sell our merch."
Yeah.
So, like,
yikes.
So they're pretty on it.
Yeah.
Well, that was my bad. I should have done it entirely privately or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think they've been pretty good. I mean, I'm sure other people have been approached. Like, I know there's a couple of other people that made like Star Citizen trading cards and stuff, and they said, "You're not selling those commercially, are you?" and things like that.
Yeah.
They need to protect their IP. That's important. And
I asked them if I can make a chat game that would be involved with bits, and they said no. And I said, okay.
They do need to remember who got them to where they are, which is their fans and fan base. We're still with them. So as long as they're
like, I could, like, all I was doing was I was going to call the ship like an Aurora, and they said no. And I was like, all right. I mean, I think we're being a little rough on me there, but yeah.
I've got loads of T-shirts planned that's just slightly detached away from Star Citizen enough to not be breaking their IP, which I'll be.
I just have meme T-shirts. Scammed. and there's going to be another one that's pretty funny. But that's really it. But no, what do you think about the video content in the last year? Obviously, it changed a lot. And
I think it's got, in the last year, I think the video content's got very, very good.
Yeah.
Like, for me anyway, it's allowed me to expand my channel as well, because the way they've ordered their content, what just works really well for daily content for me.
Mm-hmm.
They've answered the call to work is very good.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
Calling all devs.
Calling all devs.
Superb. I mean, it's pretty fucking good.
It has its moments where it's not, obviously, but that's really falls on the community for not asking appropriate questions appropriately. Sometimes it's also the system in which they do it, I think, is tough, because whoever gets upvotes early, whoever gets their questions in early, typically rise to the top the quickest, and those are the questions that get asked. And that doesn't always necessarily mean that it's the questions that should be asked, but I'm pretty sure Jared trolls that entire thread and asks questions that are a bit lower too, that are relevant to what's going on.
Yeah.
The format and the idea of it is fantastic. Sometimes the delivery isn't always perfect, but that's okay.
I wish that when it was a question that's been asked 3 or 4 times before and has appeared previously recently on Calling All Devs, that Jared would just do a really quick summary of it at the very beginning and then just go, check the link out at the bottom.
Yeah.
That would be my preferred bit, but maybe sometimes when they redo it, there's a reason to it. So
yeah.
But that content's great. I really like the new ATVs. They started a bit bumpily.
Oh, I hate them, but yeah, go ahead.
But I now like what they're doing with them. They've got they obviously are a little bit, they are scripted.
Yes.
But they appear to be like they're talking. But the person that's like the Sandy of the conversation represents the community, and that's done pretty well.
That's done very well. That is a huge improvement, because she definitely asks the questions like we would, and she asks the questions that we would. And she asked them directly to Chris, like we wish we could. And he's forced to answer them.
As she's basically in charge of all the marketing, it's good that she is incredibly self-aware of what questions the community are asking.
Yeah.
That makes me a lot more confident, because there have been previous times where they seem a bit detached from the community when it comes to marketing and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, of course, about referral competitions, selling land claims, things like that.
Yeah. And then specifically RTV, I think, is the one that's like the most disconnected right now, where they're like,
okay, gems.
You do get gems, but at the same time, it's like the timing of some of the videos and the type of people they bring on. I just don't know sometimes. They must know that like game design is 99% of the questions that are asked, but 99% of the RTVs are like not game designers that are brought on. They're like artists and animators, and like how many questions are really going to be relevant that people actually care to watch or actually care about that are going to be part of those things. Now, I know there are people out there that are interested in those topics specifically, but overall, if you're going to make an improvement to an RTV or to any engagement with the community is way more engaged when design questions are asked and answered. So you have people like John Crew when it comes to ship design. These guys are all-stars. Luke Presley, all-star. The guy in Germany with the beard and the long hair, Dan Truffin, all-star. Tony Z, all-star. Right? These are the people that are the all-stars of the community, because we can ask them the questions that we want answered, and they give relevant answers. Even if they're not for right now, it's still game design, and they've had the discussions, they've had the meetings, they've had like the macro meetings on a lot of the game design for the game. It may not be implemented for a very long time, but we at least have an insight on their idea of how they want things to work. And then you go and talk about animations. It's like, ugh, fuck, you know, who cares?
So, okay, with RTV, I'd like to see, I love the game dev ones they do. They're awesome.
Yeah.
like design your own, even the basketball stuff, whatever, make your own creature. The
that
dog
stuff's
came out
cool.
of the penis. Hilarious, hilarious fun for the whole family.
Did you see that Warframe had the same experience?
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the starting point for the models, isn't it? So I love them. I think they're great. What I'd like to see with RTV is maybe the show split into like a half, and you have talk to whoever's available about their role and take some questions for them, like if it's an animator, if it's a sound guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other half just have sort of like Jared answer and talk about things that the community are asking questions on, and take some questions live, because I'm sure he is able to answer all of the game design questions. He will be pretty.
He has a really good handle on what's going on, not only with us, but also with, well, less so with us and more so with what's going on within the company. I think because like he's mentioned it before. I'm involved in chats. Like I hear that all the time. So I don't like, we know that they have Skype, right? So maybe Jared, just as the community manager, is in all the Skype groups. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but maybe he listens in and kind of has to pay attention on what's going on. Okay, well, they're working on this. Well, we need to do a feature on that. Let's start scheduling things. So I imagine he's got a big handle on what's going on.
I mean, one of the other things he can do is that he can just have a thread or use the calling all devs questions there and answer some of them in an RTV. And I'm not trying to tell Jared how to do his job, because I actually think
he does it well.
I think he does really well.
Yeah.
There have been teething issues throughout Star Citizen with some of its community content that they produce, but I think it's in a really fucking good place now.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is really with the community content. It's with the engagement with the community, I think, is where they need to put more focus in the future, is kind of knowing where our head's at. I think that they've definitely had a rough year with that this past year, and what's important to us and what's acceptable for us to sell and to whatever, right? We definitely had some hiccups in the last year. But as far as the community content went, I thought it was pretty good. And that's why I'm a little disappointed with the start of the new year. And the fact that we are having a month off, basically, of any interesting content. And kind of stuck without any RTVs or any calling all devs. And it's unfortunate that Jared is such a major point of failure.
Don't someone clip that, please.
I didn't mean it that way, obviously. It's weird. if Jared's not there, everything falls apart, you know?
Well, it's weird missing Jared this much for calling all devs, admittedly. I really didn't realize how much I missed that show. Like, it's really fucking useful. It's really fucking good. I'll be glad when the man is back in the office.
Yeah. For sure. And so just and then the thing is, you know, maybe that was just a little bit of a statement to make out there just to say it, but I imagine Jared's the point of failure. If Jared's not there, these things can't happen. So instead of reevaluating what content we're doing, it's just like, well, Jared's not in the office.
Yeah, but, you're right. They should have had some more stuff planned, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could have recorded a number of calling all devs.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah,
you could have recorded RTVs. I don't know what any of the video production team does on a daily basis, how many things they're touching, but I know that there's 8 hours in a workday, and I know RTV is 1 hour. Calling all devs, actually, how many hours could that be?
Thinking about its work, January is the perfect time to be more community interactive and to start talking about scheduling with the community.
Yeah.
Like, the salvaging stuff would have been a lot easier to swallow for a lot of people
if there was an RTV. Do you remember the RTV with Jared and Xylo, when there was a schedule report that changed, like, massive changes to the schedule report, and the community was kind of freaking out. They didn't know how to deal with it. We had just kind of gotten the schedule report. People weren't really used to the things moving in and out all the time, right? And I'm pretty sure this was when object container streaming got moved out again one of the times, and didn't get put back in. I don't remember, but there was definitely a difficult day for Star Citizen, and they came on and they did an RTV and they sat there and they explained to us every little bit of what happened and why. And I think when January comes around, I don't think we're ready for it yet, because we still don't have 3.7 and 3.8 on the schedule report, and that's because they haven't finished their scheduling yet. So anything that we see in the schedule report right now, oh my God, salvaging is gone, oh my God, the reputation and law system is taken out, this, that, and the other thing, doesn't necessarily matter, because they haven't finished their scheduling yet. So they're taking it out because it's not scheduled anywhere yet, and then they're going to put it back in appropriately where it belongs. Appropriately where it belongs is not going to be in 3.5, because they made the statement, we know it's not going to make it into 3.5. I mean, that was the start of Xylo's sentence. But it might be in 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. We don't know.
Can you imagine how much happier the community would be if they felt like they were having an influence on the scheduling that happened in January, and they started talking about, well, these are the plans for scheduling. We're thinking about moving salvaging out because, and we're thinking about putting these things around here and this, and they can talk about it very sort of like candidly and openly, but non-definitely. And that would be great. That would be, people would feel like they're actually having much more of an influence on the game, even if they're not.
Well, what do you mean? How would they have an influence? I mean, the only thing that I've ever seen them do is these votes, and I think these votes are massively flawed.
So I think a lot of what they're going to be doing in the near future, and sometimes have been doing already, is they are working out what features are more critical to getting the game into a state that is good for advertising and good for other reasons. And I think that more community involvement with that and more talking about that would just help everyone.
Yeah.
Because I do think that we as players and we as backers influence a huge portion of CIG, not just from the active gameplay environment stance and the bug fixing, but also with their scheduling. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if you think maybe they don't.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much of an influence we have on it, because we're not game developers and we don't know what's actually important. If we had an influence on scheduling, we would have a lot more gameplay in the game now than we do. If we had an influence on scheduling, you know, Luke, I'm sorry if you're listening, but scramble races wouldn't have been a thing. Because honestly, who gives a shit about them right now? Nobody.
I've done one. I've done one.
I've done a couple. They're actually a lot of fun.
They are fun.
They are fun, but are they needed in the game right now? No. So, and if they, you know, and that may have been something that needed to get done because they had to do something while they were waiting for object container streaming or whatever, right? So I'm sure there were reasons why something like that happened, but it just kind of, I think if we had involvement in it, it would look a lot different than what it is, and I think it may not be the best thing for the game, because if scheduling was a thing, we would probably already have the female model but in the male skeleton, and it would look weird. And now we see this ATV where it's in the female skeleton, and it looks amazing.
I disagree. I think we have been having an effect on scheduling already, and it just
or some priorities. I mean, simply seeing what Luke said about trying to fix the way we move around a planet. That directly came from me. I literally freaked out on a stream that he was listening. I was just having like a major, like, this is not fun. I don't enjoy this. A SpaceX stream of leaving Earth's atmosphere is shorter than the amount of time it's taking me to get out of Hurston. This is fucking ridiculous, right? And things changed potentially. So I don't know. But we have one caller on the line. He's got his headphones muted right now, so I think he's listening to the stream. So when he turns his headphones back on, I'll bring him in. But while I'm waiting for that, what do you plan on doing in the near future with yourself? Advertise a little bit. What have you been up? What are you going to be up to? Is anything changing in the near future, or are you kind of waiting for your editor to come online to make any changes to your channel?
3.5 is going to start to be the big push for my channel, I think. That's when I'm going to be streaming a lot more. That's when I'm getting a new member of staff. That's when there's going to be a lot more reasons to play, hopefully because of the flight model. And when I want to actually be getting a load of gameplay mixed with guides and stuff, because once we've got that new flight model, I can look through every single ship in the game again and do like a ship buyer's guide and do performance analysis. Meta's important. Meta isn't just put as many guns as you can on your ship, guys, because there's an exploit. Or make sure you repair your ship first so that you have 0 weight, 0 mass.
Yeah.
Some beautiful exploits there. I was chatting to someone about meta, and I was like, "Oh yeah, do this," and I was like, "That's not meta, that's an exploit." And it was like, "Yes, but it wins." It's like,
I guess it's the meta then.
Yeah, that's the meta then.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just going to keep on plodding along with Star Citizen. There's a lot more to do and a lot more to play. So I'm just going to kind of throw different content up. I like the shorter, snappier sort of content.
And I like the longer, really detailed content.
Well, see,
I think we're gonna I think you and I are gonna really
kiss, hug, make out.
Well, I think our content's really gonna complement each other. In the future.
Okay, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah.
Well, we can kiss, hug, and hang out. Hopefully, I make it to CitizenCon in the UK next year.
That'd be amazing if you can. This year.
Well, this year, yeah. Now that it's 2019, we're assuming it's there. But you know, my girlfriend's grandmother lives in Italy, and she's getting a little older. So what a great quick stopping point would be CitizenCon before we headed to visit her. You know?
Cool.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see. You're one of the few people I genuinely want to meet that I haven't already met.
Same. Are you ready to take a caller? Are you ready to be a radio host with me?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be trolled though.
You're not going to be trolled. Okay. We have never been trolled on Answer the Call. That is not a challenge, but it's never really happened yet. Very, very slight trolls. Nothing crazy yet.
Yeah.
Okay, A.K. Higgins, you're on Answer the Call.
What's up?
What's up? And just turn your speakers down a little bit because I can hear myself.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what's causing that. Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
But yeah, like holy crap, it's awesome talking to you guys because I've been watching both of you guys for like 3 years.
Who do you like more?
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Who do you like more? Answer it now.
You do know. You do know.
Oh man, that's a hard choice. I can't do that.
All right, we're gonna have to hang up on you then. I'm sorry.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What do you want to talk about?
No, like before I shit on this game, let me just say, I think the game is coming along amazingly.
Yeah.
So far, because like I remember before 3.0, I mean, you could literally, you had like one spaceport, like you just kind of went around, did nothing. And before that, I remember
we did Comrade missions for days.
Yes, and then before that, we didn't even have that. We just had the arena commander.
Yeah.
Like you literally just go in free roam or like pirate swarm, and you either fight off a few waves of enemies or you just free fly and
look at your ships and dream about what you would do in it now. And now we're doing those things in those ships.
But in 2.6.3, the flight model, combat, and ESP didn't feel like trash.
Oh yeah, they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
Now they're pretty bad. They're not terrible, but they definitely need some work.
I feel that those sort of things are covered up by how pretty the game looks, and because there's actually stuff to do now, you just go,
it's not that bad.
ESP is so bad to work.
Oh, I know. It's the worst thing. I've turned it off. I use a joystick. I've turned it off.
The other thing is like when you have fighting combat AI, like especially the spaceships, it's all right, guys. They've already done their one-pass attack, and now they've gone AFK. Like, it's
and then if you have ESP on, you can literally not hit a ship standing still because it's magnetizing away from them.
Like this, when you're not moving and they're not moving. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, see, now that's my biggest issue. It's like I love, which I was actually just playing with you earlier.
Yeah.
Work.
Not board gamer, right? So therefore, I am your favorite. That's right.
Man, don't do that. No. Love goes out to both of you guys equally. But like, I've noticed that like
Don't like
when you're in
sharing.
combat. See, I haven't been playing because 3.0 came out, and I don't have the best PC. So when the 3.0 came out, I couldn't play for a year.
Yeah.
So I've just started back up in the game. I feel like a noob. And man, the combat though, when I log on to a target, my ship is constantly drifting. Like it is hard to get a lock on those targets. And if you're playing if you're going against a player, man, I'm literally just having to like speed run in. And I think on this live stream, I think I almost hit you.
Oh, probably. If you have ESP on, then it like magnetizes to ships and you slam into them all the time.
Well, see, what I do right now is I've got Afterburner toggled. So like if I'm trying to get away, I'll just fly straight and then throttle down, turn around, and then throttle up, and it just sends me flying. Yeah. And I'll just take a few shots hitting here and there, and I think I almost hit you, but the combat definitely needs some work. Yeah. And then I was hearing y'all talk about the fan kit.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I get it. Because I've seen some mobile games and like Facebook games, like their advertisement. I've seen multiple ones where it actually features Star Citizen's like actual, gameplay. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
I've seen that with Banished as well, like a mobile game with Banished gameplay as the actual gameplay in the ad. Yeah,
but like the problem is bad. It's Ark of War you're talking about, the one that famously steals Star Citizen assets, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's not much they can do about that, as far as I'm aware, because there's lots of differences in Asian law when it comes to the using of other people's assets. And I think that even culturally, it's supposed to be flattering.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been led to believe, anyway.
I don't know. I just noticed that, and I'm like, oh, that's shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
That's real shady. Because I know everyone's gonna look at that and be like, oh man, that looks like real cool, and then they get the game and it looks nothing like it.
So what about the gameplay in the next year? Do you think you'll be doing anything fun? Are you excited for the next year?
Oh hell yeah, man! I'm always excited for Star Citizen. Like this, as of right now. It's still bumpy. It's still rocky. The development, though, is coming along nicely. They're doing patches at least every month, whether it be a hot patch or a brand new, main patch. They're doing it somewhat monthly, which is a lot better. Because I remember, was it 2.6 or 2.8? I can't remember exactly.
We had a long break. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was like an entire year. It felt like an entire year before 3.0 launched. And then when 3.0 got here, you could feel they rushed it. And it was not.
I don't think they did rush it. I just think that it was just smashed to bits. It was broken as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much going on.
One thing CIG doesn't do is rush anything.
No, I didn't mean rush, but it's just really buggy. Like,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the year, we're always getting a quote unquote rushed patch because they have to that's the only date that they ever have a stopping time. Right. Where a majority of the company is like, I'm fucking off, so if my work's not done, it's not done.
I suppose some stuff does feel rushed thinking about it, like the 3.3 patch, the 3.3.5 patch. They did feel rushed because
they had to get to 3.4.
Yeah, it's more because they don't talk to us just before a patch comes out. They need to talk to us a bit more about what's happening with that patch. So like, this isn't there yet. It might not be coming with the patch, but they're going to try. They need to be a lot more like that with every.
I mean, personally, that's why I think the NDA on Evo Kadi needs to be lifted and things like that. So you have a little bit more understanding of why the patch hasn't come out yet and things like that. I've always felt that way, but in general, the communication with the schedule, because this year, at the end of the year, while, we're getting quarterly patches, I mean, we did not get quarterly patches at the end of this year. OCS was obviously a major undertaking, but 3.3 combined with 3.3.5 was months late.
Yeah.
No, like a month and a half or more. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this year and hopefully getting true quarterly patches and, you know, getting ours in March.
And I think they were pretty good last year still. Like, I know they weren't perfect and there were some delays.
Of course, but the issue with where we are right now and why 3.4 is what 3.4 is because 3.3 took so long to get out of develop, like out in our hands, and then moving into 3.4. You know, so everything when you delay one patch, you delay the content from the next. Because I've asked this question a number of times. When they are working on a patch, their dev branch is still that branch. So until they put that thing and put it out into the live build, they're still on that 3 point whatever dev branch. So when 3.3 and 3.3.5 were still being worked on, they couldn't move on to the 3.4 dev branch yet. So it holds everything back. So that's why, like, making sure that they're spot on quarterly, put it out there, and it is in a decent state to play, and take things out that aren't, is a way better system, I think. And then you work on it for the next patch.
But see, that's like
because we have a playable game-ish now. You know,
I don't think they should be trying to push the server base to a larger player base on each server, because, man, as of right now, man, it's kind of bumpy when you get a full server. You get a lot of crashes and a lot of weird stuff. But
that's exactly why they should be pushing it, because they need that stuff. So they need to optimize so we can get more players in at a smooth and comfortable place.
We don't want them just to put more players in. We want them to have supporting technology so that they
to make it a good experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and have more players.
So the work towards that is probably the most important.
Yeah, we don't want 200 players in the current server conditions.
No.
Totally agree with you there.
We want 200 players and probably a better experience than what we have now.
Indeed.
You know?
I mean,
my biggest pet peeve, before I know y'all gotta talk to other people and all this and that, but my biggest pet peeve right now with Star Citizen is I kind of wish like ship sales would be a lot longer. And I completely agree with you guys with the whole renting ships, having more ships to buy in game. Those are like my two biggest pet peeves, because like before I buy a ship, I want to test it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to just buy a ship, because then I'm like, well, then it's going to be 24 hours before I can melt it, and then I've got to think of, what other ships can I buy that might be somewhat like that I was going to try to go for. Like, I miss the 600i exploration ship. I miss that sail, and I really want that ship.
You're not missing much at the moment, I promise you. That ship is the most broken ship in the game by far.
And
I know, but
you don't ever have to worry about those things, because come November, they always have the sale where you're able to pick up every ship that's pretty much ever been sold. They don't have a lot of ships that are left off of the purchase list. So you never, like, even though you can't have it now, ships do get sold throughout the year.
I want to have a real talk with you as well. You said you don't have a good enough PC, but you're thinking about buying a 600i.
Yeah.
We need to talk. Like,
the PC should be the priority, not the fucking in-game ship.
Oh no, trust me, I'm getting a better PC. I'm planning on building one really soon, but I still want that 600i. But no, like the reason why I bring that up is because getting into the game, if you want a good ship and it's not on sale, or you can't buy it in game currently, you got to use Star Hanger, and Star Hanger can be really iffy.
What's Star Hanger?
Is that Grey Market?
Yeah, it's Grey Market.
It's a middleman service on Grey Market.
It can be good, but if it's you can really get scammed out of it, and I think that kind of hurts Star Citizen. Because someone could be like, well, I want this ship, and go to Star Hanger and buy it, and then the next thing you know, they get burned on that, and then it just kind of brings that game. It makes it look bad for them, and they might not talk good about it.
The Grey Market is a whole different podcast.
Yeah,
but it's very interesting because it does provide artificial scarcity and sort of support the sales model for Star Citizen. Just having it there and saying, well, we don't support it, but we're not shutting it down. It's an interesting one.
Yeah,
it really is. I think it's
it helps it and hurts it at the same
I don't
time.
think anybody should be going to it because it just doesn't make any sense. You're going to be able to earn everything in game. Just have some patience, man. Like, what is the point of you having, like, you personally, like, what's the point of you having the 600i when you will absolutely be able to earn it in game at some point? So you can stare at it now?
Yes.
Like,
dude, I love the way it looks.
That's fine, but like, take $350 out of your wallet and stare at it for a while, and then think about if you would rather stare at that $350 or put it to a different use rather than a ship in a video game that you will be able to earn with 0 of those dollars, only your time.
Like, I just got a message from Star Citizen Legal saying under the fan kit terms and conditions,
we
have to be about ship sales.
All right, guys.
So, yeah, buy that 600i. It's the best.
All right, guys, we're shutting down. Thanks for watching, everybody. All right, we gotta go.
Oh shit!
Bye, guys.
See you.
Oh
my God. Yeah, I mean, just really.
It was a lie. It was that was my acting abilities. I think people knew that.
Purchase ships because you want to support the game. Don't purchase ships to feed any addiction to having them because that's really what it sort of is. But
if I don't pay for ships, how will I wind work?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, see, like I've told myself I'm not going to buy any more ships.
Good.
But
start listening to yourself.
Dude, I'm impulsive, man. I'm very impulsive. I spent $800 on this game, and I'm still wanting more.
Trust me, Bored wants more, and so do I. But we don't spend the money on the ships because it doesn't make sense. I will speak for myself. Is I know I've spent enough, and I've spent a lot more than 800 up to this point, and I know that I can melt ships around, and I have the hangar that I have, so I can show off. What I need to for my stream. That's the only reason I do that. I am so much more interested in my account that has one Aurora on it than I am interested in my account that has all the ships that I have in it currently. Yeah, that is so much more fun to play than my account with all the ships on it. So consider that.
It's a really good point. And like,
game's a lot more fun when you earn it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I can't wait till when it gets to a point where persistence is fully implemented and you've got just people working towards actual goals and they know that it won't be reset until, maybe 6 months or a year. Because I'm not going to say they're never going to reset it once persistence comes in, because I know they're probably going to.
Yeah, they'll reset.
It's going to be a lot more stable and a lot more achievable than it currently is.
Yeah, I mean, they can do seasons. They can do all sorts of things in the future when persistence is in, where they can... there's no way that when persistence is in, that an exploit might not happen, or they want to reset. Because the big thing about the resets and why they're so important, and I think people don't really understand this, is as new features come in the game, like let's say salvaging comes in, or piracy, and we're able to transfer money from one person to another, the resetting allows them to see, okay, this is what people are doing to make money in game. This is how people are playing the game. Whereas the current state, where if they just left it and allowed us to have millions and billions of credits from an exploit, or no way to make money, or whatever happening in the current state of the game, you're never going to really know. Every time you reset and every time you add a feature, it's like the start of the MMO again. Okay, well, this is how things are going to progress. They learn things every time they put out a new patch and reset. So don't look at it so negatively. It's really not the worst thing in the world. I'm not 100% sure why they reset as often as they do. I'm sure there is a perfectly valid reason, because sometimes they do a reset and sometimes they don't. They don't do it every patch. They don't do it every patch. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
I think what it is after they do like small, it might be minor tweaks to, whether it be the cargo system or the mining system. I think it's just really them seeing, okay, well, we made tweaks here and there. Let's see what these do and what people do to overcome these tweaks, and which that's not a pet peeve of mine. I've been trying to get some friends of mine to get the game,
and they don't want to play.
Yeah, because they see the state that it's in, and I'm like, look, I understand, but it's a fun game if you give it a try. And it might not be for you right now, but when it gets developed, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's not a for sure thing. I'm like, yeah, but...
That's fine, and they can just wait.
I'll tell you why they reset the databases for the latest patch that they had. And that's because
people had millions of weapons, right?
Yeah, millions of guns, smallest ships in the world.
Yeah.
They had to reset the databases.
Yeah, like there was 100% going to be a wipe. I don't know if there was going to be, if that didn't happen, right?
Yeah, I'm glad they did do that. That was that would have been annoying.
But all right, AK, really... I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna say goodbye to everybody. So thank you for your call. I appreciate it. It's nice to see, even though you're not a new backer, it's nice to see somebody that's new and excited and interested in the game because they're finally able to play it. So your enthusiasm is
I could talk to you all day about this game, and like especially since like I love you two dudes, like serious.
Who do you love more right now?
Yeah. Who do you currently love the most?
Can I like just
no. 3, 2, 1, go.
Board Gamer.
Fuck off. You're out. Yes. I hung up on him. I hung up on him.
On your own channel to work on your own.
What's his name? What's his name in game? Ban. Oh, man. Unbelievable.
I don't fucking need these to see anymore. I can see again.
Unbelievable. Woo! God damn it.
Totally believable to work.
All right, Bored. Listen. We have 4 minutes to make it 1 hour and 20 minutes. We have a new person that came in line. We're going to make this a very short call. We're going to take a call from Desynced, and then we're going to head out.
I wonder who he likes more.
That's why I'm bringing him in. I wonder who he likes more as well.
Okay, yeah.
Desynced, you're on Answer the Call. How you doing? Who is your favorite Star Citizen content creator? Go.
See, that's a loaded question.
No, right? It's no. It's a one-word answer.
It's okay if you don't want to answer. I'm not going to put any pressure on you.
Twerk for the streaming, board for the YouTube.
There we go. There we go. That's fine.
Okay. That still means that I'm liked more by people that have called in, because that's like a 50-50, and the other guy likes me more.
Fuck. Yes. All right. So what do you want to talk about, Desynced? And try and keep it short, because we'll have to go soon.
Yeah, I just got back from a LAN event all weekend.
Okay.
And I had like 4 people, 5 people playing, and we were just trying to figure out how to join each other's games and all that stuff. They need to fix that.
I think there's lobby improvements for 3.5, or there was a group improvements for 3.5. So hopefully it'll be a little better next patch. It's not that bad right now.
Is like impossible. Like I didn't know how to do that until this morning.
You spell their name correctly.
Well,
the biggest issue is that when you
go to comms and then add,
because you're talking about when you're in game,
right?
Yeah. So when you're in game, there isn't a very good explanation of how to do that once you're in game. Like you meet a guy and you're in global VoIP and you're like, hey man, you want to ride on my ship, and then you have a good time together, and then you want to hang out, and then you want to make out. Yeah. So then you want to add him to your contacts so you can call him on your Mobi Glass and do video calls later, but you can't do it because you didn't really know how. It makes sense. Makes sense.
But that's
the scenario that I described? Is that pretty much the scenario you were having?
Basically, you just want to eliminate all those roadblocks to make it seamless.
Yeah.
So that's all I had. I mean, just a simple thing like that.
Is that the most important thing for you? Is just grouping with your friends right now?
As of right now, because there's not really any game content unless you're creating it. So
yeah,
that is a very accurate description.
Yeah.
Of how Star Citizen plays. It's actually pretty fucking good fun if you're making the content and planning things in like their sandbox world.
Yeah. I mean, it can even go so far as like I know a few of like the people from my community that they set a goal for themselves. Was like one of them wanted to buy a Buccaneer and another person wanted to buy a Cutlass. And they set out and grinded everything they could to get those things. The best one is Zeus was the one who wanted to get the Cutlass. Zeus got the Cutlass, bought the Cutlass 30 seconds before the 3.4.2 patch came out and wiped everything. 30 seconds. And he did it all in an Aurora grinding delivery missions with a little cargo in between. Amazing.
He's not the luckiest man in the world, is he? He's been through a lot.
No, he got the ship.
I know, but it doesn't seem very lucky. I suppose he's got.
That's fucking lucky.
Is that what
you're saying?
Yeah. Woo!
That's lucky. Yeah, Zeus has been through a lot. For those of you guys that don't know Zeus, he's one of the moderators here and helps out with Answer the Call and the Discord and the community and everything. And he's had a rough couple of years, man.
He's one of my mods too. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll let you all go. I know we've been on here for a while.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, Desync. We just started talking.
Oh, it's fine. Keep doing what you do. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, I appreciate you. And hopefully we get a better grouping system for 3.5. It's a little easier for you.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Hopefully we have you on another Answer the Call soon.
Will do.
Bye. Now we have one more caller.
Oh, is it your control caller? Oh, I love Twack 17.
Were you singing? Were you singing? This is King Gear, by the way, guys. I think he was singing.
I think he was as well.
King Gear, who is your favorite content creator and why?
My favorites?
Yes.
So is that like just everything or just in Star Citizen in general?
No, in Star Citizen. This is between who is your favorite, Twerk17 or Bored Gamer? Okay.
You know,
so needy. You're so needy.
Twerk17 was the thing I said first.
It's either the egg or the K-Kona. I got to pick between the egg and the K-Kona. It's difficult. But,
that's right, brother.
You know what, to be honest, since I hang out with Twerk almost every single day, you know, like 5 days a week in the morning, you know, for 3 hours straight, I have to go with Twerk.
What?
That's right.
I'm sorry, but
that's
Bored,
right.
I do enjoy your videos, and I definitely do enjoy just everything that you freaking produce. I do find it hilarious though how Twerk17 talks about something on stream, and then about 5 minutes later you post something on YouTube about the same thing that he's talking about.
It's incredible how many times it's happened.
Thank you very much, King Gear, for the private message saying you actually like me more as well. Thank you. I just appreciate it.
I really thought he was going to say all these nice things about me and then say that he still likes
Bad news,
Bored anyway. Or something like that. Just somebody random. It's like, no, I really don't like either of you guys. I really like Baron instead. But no, do you have anything related to the topic, since this is an overall shit show at this point?
Not really. I just hope that, you know, freaking CIG or Chris Roberts gets their head straight, you know.
Whoa, shot.
Or
Chris Roberts. You said that very aggressively. Listen, that is against the rules of the fan kit. Okay, I'm gonna have to let you go.
But just like overall, how they've been, you know, like recently with the roadmap changes, that really shocked me. How they took out 3 of the core mechanics that were going to be added, you know, to 3.5, and they were going to add so much more stuff into the game. And how they just, you know, completely took it out. And instead of doing that, they are, you know, making further improvements of things that are, I guess you can say, broken to the game. That surprised me. It's good because, you know, they're going to fix it, of course, but it's bad because those new mechanics are going to be pushed back probably until the end of the year, which, you know, people that have their claimer, the vulture, you know, people that want to do escorts, you know, with with constellations and whatnot.
People that want to do more in general.
Exactly. Yeah. Those
it hurts.
Things
Yeah, it definitely hurts. The people that want to do more in general, it hurts. The people who are currently pretty cool with what we have now, making those things improved are obviously great. And long term, the thing is we're going to look back at days like this, and King, I'm going to let you go so we can actually end the show.
Sure. Yep.
All right. Thank you for calling, by the way.
Thanks, King. I appreciate your love and your honesty, even if you do like twerk more than me. It's okay.
But
I'm not upset.
Every time we kind of see decisions that we may not have liked from CIG, maybe years ago, maybe like, for example, years ago, the female model and how long it's taken to come online. When you see the actual result of the work and the decision that they made that may have upset us back then, the result is usually long-term a much better solution to whatever problem they came across. So if there...
It might be. I mean,
in general, it has been, is kind of what I'm saying. Like, don't you think the amount of time they took, like just using the female model as an example and what we saw around the verse this week, isn't that a much better thing long term than?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, probably, but it's really hard to like define what would have been better based on two things we don't currently have.
Well, because they showed the video of what the model would have looked like with the male skeleton.
Yeah,
and then they showed it
I mean,
without, with the female skeleton.
They could have done it all with the female skeleton automated and then just updated the female. There's lots of other ways they could have done it. I don't know which way's better. I mean, it's unfortunately a brute fact.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But,
yeah. All right. Let's get going here. Bored, is there anything that you would like to advertise that you have going on? Do you have any giveaways? Anything exciting? Should people go and watch a particular video that you're really proud of that came out recently?
I mean, just I'll keep.
Or just watch all the videos. Take your ad
fine.
blocker off. Follow his Patreon.
No, so one of the things I do is I don't have non-skippable ads on my channel. So if you've got ad blocker, it's fine. Do what you want. I get supported through things like Patreon all the way, and the channel memberships now on YouTube. So it's one of the things I want to do on my channel is be in charge of any advertising, which is why I shill for Shadow and things like that.
Yeah.
So at least it's relevant. But no, just general Star Citizen news and updates and gameplay and all things Star Citizen. I'll try and get a video out each day, at least one. And from like 3.5 onwards, at least 2 a day is the plan. But yeah, check it out, BoredgamerUK, on pretty much all the social medias and on the YouTubes. But,
and I might put you on the spot here a little bit. So, you know, I apologize if this makes you uncomfortable at all, but in the past you've been very comfortable talking about these things. How's your mental health? How's everything going? You doing well?
Oh, do you want an honest answer?
Just give whatever answer you're comfortable giving.
My dad's been diagnosed with lung cancer over the last 2 weeks. And he has to have an operation, which could be fatal is the problem.
Okay.
It's very early, it's very curable, is lung cancer, but he's very old, and it is a major operation to remove half his lung. And at the moment, he hasn't decided whether he's going to have the operation or not. So I'm having to deal with that.
Yes.
But my mental health is pretty good.
That's good.
The thing with my my bipolar and my anxiety is it's erratic and random. It's not based on situations. Like I can have just won the lottery and I'll be crying in the corner, going, "What's the point in life?" But at the moment, I'm being there for my dad. They're in the house at the moment. I'm going to be caring for him after his operation, and it's allowed me to reevaluate that you look after your family, you look after
family first,
your
always
group of friends.
Yeah,
family, and then your close mates are the ones you love and the ones you stay with.
Which are family in my mind, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And I appreciate the fact that you, Saurus and Noob, and some of the other people were really there for me when I've been super depressed in the past. And I love you, Twerk. You know I fucking love you.
Well, yeah, and you know my girlfriend deals with bipolar syndrome as well, so we share something there. And, you know, sorry for putting you on the spot, but still figured.
No, it's okay. But
it's always nice to keep people aware of that and mental health and all that stuff. So I figured it's important to bring up while we have you on.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a shitty situation, but it's something that everyone's going to have to deal with.
Yeah,
and I'm mentally okay. Like
good.
I'm good.
Yeah, you seem in a really good place, and I'm very happy to have you on and talk.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me, by the way, and thank you very much for everyone in chat that's been lightly trolling me. I love you all.
And heavily trolling me, like always. So yeah, we will say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bored, can you say all the YouTube stuff since I'm not successful at it? What do you tell people to do at the end of a video? How do you do it?
What you mean?
Well, they need to like and subscribe and like get them to, you know, click on stuff.
Guys, I don't have ads on my channel, or I'm not making enough money. Please like and subscribe and ding that bell and
ding the bell
on Patreon. Ding ding ding. So do it as a hype YouTuber if you want to work. You've got it. You've got quite hypey. Like, thanks for watching, guys.
I appreciate it.
I've got all the social media. I give exclusive content to my Patreons, and you can donate on Patreon, guys. I know you've wanted to donate to me, so I've allowed you to do that. And you can click on the join button. Boom! Also, other things. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you only have, 24 hours in the day, but do everything you possibly can for me. No, just kidding. Just
if
guys,
you can watch my videos twice all the way through, guys, please do that. Make sure you comment below.
No, but really, guys, just if you guys are enjoying Answer the Call, this was kind of a bringing us back full circle to the way it started, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So, if you do ever want to call in and be on the show, like we had a couple callers today, make sure you come live. It's on twitch.tv/Twerk17 on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we go to 11:30. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Peace.